7:44. Kids, they get so excited for Halloween, but it's not all about the trick or treats. Dr. Friedman is here to talk to us about how to keep our kiddos safe this Halloween. Dr. Friedman, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Halloween. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
I hate that we have to have this conversation because it's supposed to be such a fun event for the kids, but we have to remind to be safe with the kiddos. What are some things parents need to look out for Halloween?
There's so many different areas where kids can get into some dangerous situations for any holiday. With Halloween, let's start with costumes, right? When you're buying your child's costume, you want to make sure it fits well. So there's a couple risky things with costumes. One would be a tripping hazard. So if it doesn't fit well, if it's too long.
Okay.
With masks, make sure there's enough opening in the eyes so that they can see. You want them to be able to see well so they don't trip on the sidewalk or run into their friends, run into the street. And be careful about accessories. You know, some accessories could be sharp or dangling or just could be a big hazard. So just make sure it's fitting well and they can see out.
Halloween is not Halloween with that little pumpkin carving. I still haven't done this with my kids because I'm very nervous about all the sharp tools and carving. What do we need to know about carving pumpkins?
Well, I think for young kids, parents should do the carving with them or for them, or at least be supervising with them. And you can have the kids draw the pictures on there. I mean, have them take part, or they can just paint them. You don't even have to carve it. But then there's also the fire risk, right? You can start a blaze with a tiny spark. So if you put a candle in a pumpkin and then you put it near something that could catch fire, it's pretty dangerous. So I always recommend using those little tea lights. You don't even have to use a candle in a pumpkin.
One of the biggest concerns I have, I went to a newer neighborhood for trick-or-treating last year. I swear, Dr. Friedman, I had an anxiety attack because it was very crowded. Trick-or-treating, the kids, the cars, it was just too much. So we are changing it. We're going to find a quiet neighborhood for the actual night of trick-or-treating. What are some really good tips and pieces of advice that you can give us?
Yeah, Halloween always makes me nervous. Like I feel like it's a race. Like as soon as they're out the door, everyone's running. They're running up to ring the doorbells. They're tripping over each other. They're going into the street. People are driving fast. So definitely go in groups. Always have an adult, at least with young kids. Make sure that they can be seen, right? So glow sticks or flashlights. If you have older kids who are going out alone, make sure they have a cell phone so you can reach them, and just remind your kids about looking both ways. Make eye contact with the driver so that when you're crossing the street, you can do it safely.
I remember when I was a kid, my parents checked my candy when we came back, and we sat down and we did the whole trading game with my brothers. Do we still need to do that at the end of the night when the kids come back with all their candy? I
think the likelihood that there's something in your candy is going to be pretty low. First of all, remind kids not to eat it on the run while they're trick-or-treating, because they could choke. You don't know what they're getting a hold of. You want to make sure that you're really looking at what they have. Make sure packages are closed. But if you have a kid with food allergies, be extra careful. Read ingredients, read the package, make sure that they are not consuming things without your approval. And then also don't forget about the Teal Pumpkin Project, which if a house has a teal pumpkin, that means they have treats that don't have any allergens or maybe a non-candy treat.
Yeah, I get excited when I go to a house and you see them do something different. We go to a house, they have donuts or they have popcorn or something different. Dr. Friedman, thank you for being here. Really good advice.
Thanks.